Alright, hello everyone. So this is the tutorial for the Christmas planner spreadsheet. Now, before I actually go into the tutorial, I'd actually like to first thank you all for purchasing this product. Thank you for considering Excel Studio as the spreadsheet provider of choice, if I can say that. And we really hope that this spreadsheet will be of good use for you for the upcoming Christmas day. Now, before we actually go into the tutorial, I'd actually like to first go over what you should have gotten as a result of the purchase. So the first thing that you should have gotten immediately from Etsy is the order PDF containing the links to the different parts of the product. The first link should have been for the clear Christmas planner spreadsheet, that is this one over here. The second link should have been for the example spreadsheet, which is this one over here. While the third link should have been for the YouTube video. I'm not entirely sure how you would have reached this YouTube video. Maybe you would have reached it um, online, or just in an algorithm, or maybe you've seen it through the link, of course. Um, Whatever the case may be, the YouTube link was also there as well, just so that you could come here and also see uh, how the spreadsheet operates. Right. So before we go into the inner workings of the spreadsheet, I think that it's quite important if I first go over the components of the individual sheets, and maybe also let me just start off with the language when it comes to spreadsheets. So the first thing is that we get two terms, spreadsheets and sheets. Those are two different things. So just in case you do not know, a spreadsheet is this whole entire thing right over here, the Christmas planner example. All of these come together to spreadsheets. So this is here is a spreadsheet. However, a sheet are these individual tabs down here. For instance, task tracker is a sheet, budget and gifts is a sheet, calendar is a sheet, stockings tracker is a sheet, etc. So all these sheets come together to form one spreadsheet. I thought that that was quite important to get out of the way first. Now let's move on to the individual components of the spreadsheet. So we have the task tracker spreadsheet. This is where we set our different tasks to be handled. We have the graphs representing that, and we have these tabs also here providing information, just basic information that we feel is good to know. Then we have the budget and gifts. Again, we have an expense summary, leftovers, spending breakdown, gift support, information, amount budgeted, total spend, leftover. So these are essentially pieces of information here. We will go over how all of this works later on, but we just first want to discuss the components just so you can get a look at all of it. Then we have the other bars over here, other information, total gifts, bought, delivered, and that comes here to the gifts tracker. Next to that, we have the expense tracker. Following that, we have the calendar, lovely, lovely calendar. Then we have the stockings tracker. We have the individual people that we'd like to devote stockings to. Uh, these are named over here. These are not named. You can see here name, name, name. Essentially a budget summary for that. The graphs representing all that information. Lovely reindeers. And then we also have the bars showing the different pieces of information. Days left, total cards purchased, and then left to purchase. Christmas recipes. These are all the recipes maybe that you'd want to include. So we have about 6 recipes available over here. You can even see we have an example here. My language. Roast turkey with cranberry glaze, quite nice. Chestnut stuffing, also quite nice. So then days left, total items. We have the recipe items. This automatically fills in from the Christmas recipes, but again, we'll show you how that all works later. So then the full in over here. Cards tracker. This is for, if you want to send out cards to anybody, let's formalize it into just one sheet, and then we can put it all in here. Shows you how many cards you have, or that you plan to send, how much you did send, and how much you have left to send. Over here is the itinerary, how we're going to plan the day. that we can do over here. We have examples over here. Start preparing lunch. Make sure grandma is en route. That's for Christmas Eve. Whoop, big day. And then Christmas the next day on the 25th. We have all these over here. Then we also have some days after, doing some cleanup, etc. Just in case, and days before. You can even start the days on different times. Start at 2 a.m. Get real early. Maybe start even at 6. Whatever you need, but 7 was the default. After that, we have the menu. Menu is very important. We have menu for Christmas Eve, the Christmas day. We allow you to brainstorm ideas, just jot them down, and then tick which ones you want, and then it automatically comes over here. How nice. So that's Christmas ideas, Christmas meal idea, and these are the actual Christmas meals. Lastly, we have the setup page. So this page over here, we would have put in our name and would have selected a currency from a total of literally 35 different currencies. I know these currencies might look funny to you if you've never dealt with them, but we made sure to put the most popular currencies on the top, and then nearing towards the bottom we have extra currencies just in case we do get purchases from the more exotic places of the world. So then we have names of people over here. So this is for tasks. So let me go back to that task tracker. Let me show you. So you can see the tasks over here, and then we assign a person to that task. So these people over here, these names, they come from here. So please make sure to fill this in. Also fill in the agenda, so that by filling in the agenda, you assign an icon to their corresponding person. You can also fill in other as well if the specific gender does not apply. Right, now that we've gone over the different components of the spreadsheet, let me actually go through what you as a person who just purchased the spreadsheet would do. So in order for me to do that, let me go to the clear spreadsheet. So here's the clear spreadsheet. Of course, no information. I should actually remove this, not a name either. And then we have all the different tabs right here. So now let's get started. So the first thing that you ever do is that you go to the setup page that is over at the end over here. So this is the first part that you ever do once you're on the spreadsheet, the setup page. So then when you're on the setup page, you enter your name, the name of the admin, the person that is actually in charge of the spreadsheet. That name today will be Prince, my name. Then you also set a currency, and you can, again, a list of 35 different currencies. Currency I'm going to select for today is dollars. So persons responsible for tasks, these are the people that you want to put in, responsible again for the tasks that you're going to input on the task tracker. So maybe you want to input myself as the admin. Then I also want to do I did not have a wife, but let's say I did, then I'll also put my wife, let's say Jenny over here. Maybe I'd also like my uncle to do so. So I'm going to say Jeremy for my uncle. So I'm going to put male, female, and male. And this gives you space for up to 10. Going back, let's start off with the task tracker. Let's get busy working towards Christmas, right? So before I actually go into filling out information here, there is one thing I should mention. So on a sheet like this, if you can see the different sheets over here, you can see that there's essentially a lock on each of them, right? So this lock indicates that the many cells on this sheet are protected. Now what does that mean? Let me try and change this information over here. It says that there are 17 days left until Christmas. Let me try and change that. I'm going to say 20. Oops. Heads up, you're trying to edit part of this sheet that shouldn't be changed accidentally. So this indicates that this is a cell within a sheet that should not be changed by a human being essentially. These cells are automatically populated because that days left tab under there, it takes today's date, the day of Christmas, which is the 25th of December, and then it automatically calculates how many days are left. So then if you see a message like this, just know that this is a cell that cannot be changed by you and shouldn't be changed by you. and then we're going to click cancel. Not okay, because it asks if you want to edit anyway, and that's not what you want to do. I'm going to click cancel. So all of these over here, none of these top parts are changed, and also some parts over here. We'll show you which ones can be changed and which shouldn't. But yeah, none of these top parts should be changed except for the one in the, let me just get to it. It should be here on the itinerary. This day start is the only one that actually can be changed out of all these headers over here. The only one, because you can select from drop down, but none other. But let's get into the task tracker. Alright, so let's start off with the task tracker spreadsheet. So before I actually go into filling in some tasks, you will see that over here it says 1% under progress, even though we have no tasks. And the reason for that is because 1% is the starting value. We try our best when we're making these spreadsheets, when doing all the formulas, we try our best to, maybe if you did maths in high school, you'd understand this very easily, or maybe not. But essentially, we try our best to avoid a division by 0, which would cause an error within the spreadsheet. So that's why we start off with 1% over there. But moving on, that shouldn't phase you. You will get still an accurate reading within. You do not have to minus 1% or add 1% or anything like that. That only happens when there is no tasks. Okay. Moving on, let's add a task. So let me say the first task, for instance, is finding stores to purchase decor. The priority of this is medium. Let's make an example, medium. We haven't started yet, so we're going to put down there awaiting. You can see it goes down to 0 over there because now it actually has something to calculate off of. Start date, that should maybe be today. Ending date, 9th of December. Days left is 1. Comes out as orange because it will always come out as orange if it is under 3 days. So 3, 2, 1 come out as orange. The person responsible is me, Prince, and the notes must be in the area. Please also be careful. These, my greatest apologies, these icons over here fall within their own individual cells. Please make sure not to adjust it, but even if you do try, it will give you a heads up warning that you cannot do that. And then you can click cancel and know, oops, sorry, the cell next to it over here is where I must select. Let me do another one. My wife, she enjoys cooking. She's quite a cooking fanatic, essentially. So let me put the responsibility of finding recipes onto her. So for instance, I'll say, find maybe 3 Christmas recipes. Let me put this on a low priority. And then Christmas is still a distance away, I guess. So let me say a low priority. And then this has not been started yet, so I'm going to put down there awaiting. And then maybe the start date can be, maybe let's say on the 15th of December. And you know, it's just only 3 recipes, so maybe it can be completed on the 15th. Then you can see there's 7 days left for that. And then responsibility, Jenny. We don't have to put a note under there, that is completely optional. Moving on. So then let's do another one for my uncle. So let's say we're gonna take a road trip for Christmas. So let's say fix the car tires. And but we use the car every day, right? So let's actually make this an urgent priority. Urgent comes up right there, nice red. But my uncle is quite diligent, so this has already been completed. And there we go. The progress shows the percentage. 33% of all tasks have been completed. However, this task was supposed to be started today on the 8th. It's supposed to end on today on the 8th, and it has. And there we go. A 0 indicating as well that there is something that should be highlighted towards you. The person responsible for that is Jeremy. And then I can say here, maybe components must be bought from, maybe let me make an example store. An example store name, maybe from, I don't know, Tire Town. And that's how you use the spreadsheet. And you see over here, completion by person. When you complete the different tasks, it will show how many, which person over here completed how many tasks. Prints 1, shows 1 over there. Over here, by priority, it shows medium, low, urgent. It shows what percentage of tasks are over there. Progress correspondingly shows how many have been completed as a percentage wise. And then again over here, total tasks 3, completed 2. Quite nice. Right, so this is the budgeting gifts sheet. This is essentially for if you want to organize gifts for people, just so that you can have it in one centralized place, as well as also this is so that you can track your expenditure. Maybe you spend money on buying Christmas lights, you can put the date in there, the cost of it, the category as well, maybe even a description just to give some more information. And then you spent money again, maybe on stockings. So like you bought the physical stockings, then you can say on this date cost me this much to buy stockings, which may fall under, I don't know, maybe decorations, you can say, which may fall under decorations, and then you add another description here. You don't have to add a description, but then you add a description just to, give some more information. So when you come onto the spreadsheet, the first thing that you must always do is this part over here. This part needs to be changed. Not changed, not changed, not changed, not changed. But this part, the blue part over here, must be changed, and this is essentially the amount that must be budgeted. So for instance, I can change this to, apologies for that, just in the chart for no reason. Then we can put 0 there, and it's going to show that. But then the amount that we budgeted to actually spend on expenditure, don't worry about the gifts are not included, but the amount that we budgeted to spend on the expenses over here, 2,500. That's how much we do. So then after we put that in, then this will populate up, getting ready for, the big calculations. And then after that, we can go into the gifts tracker and the expense tracker. Let's start off with the gifts tracker. So firstly, we'd like to buy a gift for Jenny. She definitely deserves a gift. The gift maybe will be diamond earrings. Diamond earrings. The store we're going to buy this from is called Stearns. The budget that we're going to put on this, we're going to put $500 on that. Maybe. I'm actually not sure how much earrings cost. But expensive earrings or whatever, but $500 is just an example. And then let's say I went there already, I purchased it, and it was actually, let's be nice, let's actually say we spent more, a little more. So 550 was the actual amount, and we bought that already. This indicates that we bought it. Status, this is whether this is its delivery status. Now it has not been moved. This mostly applies to if the delivery is by courier, maybe. But even if it's in person, we can say it's not been moved. I still have it, but Jenny doesn't. Or maybe it's on the way. Maybe this can apply to courier. Or maybe, you gave it to someone else who's going to give it to her, maybe on the way. And then also delivered means that it's gotten to her. And even also can apply to courier. But I'm going to give this in person. I live with Jenny, so it is going to be in person. So then we're going to say not moved. And then we're going to put the address over here. So let's say 123 Main Street. And then maybe we can even, no, let's just keep it Main Street. Let's keep it nice and simple. 123 Main Street, that's the address. Let's do something else. So let's say for Jeremy. Jeremy fixed those tires real nice. What did Jeremy really like to have? I know Jeremy's into cars, so let me actually get Jeremy a model car. I'm going to buy this from, let me just make up a store, Model Zone. Maybe I should take up a career in making names up. We'll take Model Zone, and then we're going to budget about $300 for this one. And then I'm going to also put in $300 over here. That's the actual amount of the model car that we found. Left over is 0. And then following that, we can say that we bought it already, or maybe we didn't, whatever, but we did buy it. It has not been moved yet, and it's going to be delivered by courier, not in person, but by courier to Jeremy. And then his address is 456 Main Street. And that is essentially how the gifts tracker works. It'll even tell you here, total gifts 2, bought 2, delivered 0, because none of them have been moved yet. But if they had been delivered, it'd say 1. Okay. Moving on, we have the expense tracker. So the expense tracker essentially, as I explained earlier, when you make an expense, you'll put in the date over here. Let's say that on the 2nd of December, I bought Christmas lights. Like I said earlier, they were $40. Excuse me, $40. That falls under decorations, and I can even just say here extra information, Christmas lights. Let me just make sure I spell that correctly, right? Christmas lights, and then you'll see here under decorations, $40 is filled in over there. All right, so it automatically fills in the actual values for you, and on top of that as well, this automatically gets populated. I did make a minor boo-boo earlier by saying that the gifts portion over here is not included. The gifts portion is indeed included here for the total spent, just to make a more accurate budget. I greatly apologize for that, but it is included. $890 over there also comes from here, but then all of this falls in by itself, and then the gift sport also graph comes up there, a leftover graph. You have $1,610 left over in your budget. Spending breakdown, this is indicating all for decorations, so this will show you where your money is going. Let me add another category here just so you can see how that works. 3 December, $50. Let's say maybe let's say what can we say technology and gadgets, and then maybe we purchased a technology and gadgets, $50. Nah, I'm just gonna say wristband for a watch. Let me see that rather. Just something random, maybe someone broke their watch and they need a new wristband. And there we go. You see the different categories coming together in the spending breakdown. You already see it represented over here in the expense summary. So right there, that's what we have. And then that's how we use expense tracker. The next day as well, 4th of December, we spent about $40 again. I'm gonna say this time we spent it on groceries because we needed to buy for Xmas. It's a very funny description, but it's applicable. And there we go, groceries as well. And then that was groceries, it was, yes. And then you see $40 spent over there. Right, moving on to the calendar. This one is also an interesting one. So essentially, the calendar is quite easy. I don't even think I should explain this too much. But over here on the calendar, just if you want to put anything down, just like how it has been put down Christmas Eve and Christmas Day over there, if you just want to put something down, let's say on the 15th we need to see grandma, put that down. And then once you've completed it, you can click the check mark over there. Don't have to worry about any of these. This will tell you the month, of course, it's December. That's the month for this calendar. And then we can even say again on the 16th, I want to go and, get a new what? Let me just say get a new shirt or something, get a new shirt for Christmas, they're in preparation for Christmas. But no, I haven't done that yet, so I'm not going to check that off, maybe even like on the 8th, I'm going to say I want to make a budget, right? That I made, all right? Focus on the budgets and gifts over here. I want to make a budget for Christmas, right? And then, so that's how the calendar works, just in case that you have anything that you're thinking about, and then you can just put it over here. And it's very important that you do that, just so that even when you zoom out just a bit, you zoom out a bit, and then you can see how your month will look like. And I think that's very important. Just makes it much more easier, gives you much more, just gives you much more visual expression of the month. Moving on, we have the stockings tracker. So whenever we want to fill stuff in for the stockings, for instance, then we can assign basically these blocks over here to a person, and then we can add the cost of everything, and then that will come out to the stockings, right? So let's get started. So first things first, these bars over here, don't worry, you don't have to touch any of these. These are all done automatically. This you must not touch as well, because this is also done automatically. Don't worry, if you make a mistake and try to do that, it'll tell you can't. The budget, on the other hand, this part of here, this is the only part that you must fill in. The rest you mustn't, for the budget and actuals over here. And then let's get started over here. So the first thing that you do is you fill in names. So who do you want to make stockings for? I want to make a stocking for myself, Prince. Then I also want to make a stocking for, you put it here where it says name. I also want to get a stocking for Jenny. And then Jeremy also needs a stocking for his wonderful, wonderful work of attire. So there we go. Jeremy gets a stocking. We see a small error message, but don't worry about that. This is what happens when you do not have information within here. So don't worry about that. So let's say for Prince, I want to budget. I'm going to, oh, so this is myself. I'm speaking like a different person. I'm going to budget just $50 for Prince. Now, for Jenny, I'm going to budget maybe, no, I'm going to budget $200 for Jenny. And Jeremy, let's say $150 for Jeremy. Now, the actual over here, this one is computed based off what you put in here. Try to change it, tell you can't. So we're going to come down here and we're going to say the item. So for myself, maybe I want to get new shoes. So I'm going to say shoes. I'm going to put shoes in there. That's a nice gesture. And the cost of these shoes is going to blow my budget, and it's going to be 50. So this will be fully represented once I put in more items. But essentially, you need to show the program that you actually also bought the shoes as well. So that's how you indicate. Then you click bought. It'll put a different highlighting on the background there and even strike through everything right there. So for Jenny, let's see, let me try and buy something small for Jenny. I'm gonna maybe get her like a, what do you call that, a quote card. It's gonna cost about $30 maybe. A nice, very nice quote card, let me say that. I'll also get her maybe, she's into Barbie. Let me get her a, not a Barbie doll. She wouldn't really like a Barbie doll. Again, Jenny's just a random person, but let's make an example out here. So maybe she's into Barbie and Barbie bracelet. Let me say that. Random, but just for the cause, Barbie bracelet, $20 maybe. So right there, I bought the code card, but I didn't buy the Barbie bracelet yet. But anyways, that will come out of there. It's the actual cost, and you can see I spent per stocking. Prince 50%, and Jenny another 50%. Jeremy, he just likes cars too much. So what else can we do for Jeremy? Not Jenny, Jeremy. And for Jeremy, maybe we can a poster. I think that'll be good. A car poster, but a really nice one that costs $100. So I'm gonna put that there, and I bought it already. I just had to after today. So therefore, Jeremy, 50% of all the money went to Jeremy, while 25% went to Prince, 25% went to Jenny. And then over here we see a comparison between how much you budgeted for and how much you spent. So this over here represents the amount that you, this over here represents the amount that you essentially budgeted. This over here represents the amount that you spent. We see that we budgeted $200 here for Jenny, but we only spent 50, and then correspondingly that shows as well. And then that's how the stockings tracker works. So what's very important is that I show you what can and cannot be filled in. Everything cannot be filled in except for the budget over here, the names as well over here, as well as the items, whether it has been bought, and the cost. Now we are on the recipes sheet. So this is for when you want to organize your Christmas recipes, right? So let's get an example of what recipe we would like to do. Now I don't actually know this from my head, so let me just get it from the example. Christmas recipes. So let's say the first recipe is roast turkey with cranberry glaze. Okay, so what you do is that you come over here, you take this out. You can actually just start typing, or you can backspace and then say roast turkey with cranberry glaze. There we go. And then after that, we can fill in these individual blocks over here. So firstly, we're gonna have to fill in how many people it serves. Let's say it serves 2. The preparation time, let's say that 20 minutes is the preparation time, and then the cooking time is 2 hours. Then what we want to do is that we want to put in our ingredients. So the first ingredient, let's see, the first ingredient is turkey. So I'm going to put in here turkey. Following that, I'm going to select the unit. So the unit, you can select from a drop down menu over here from different kinds of units. Hopefully we got all the units that are going to be useful for you. Let me just explain them. LB for pounds, TBSP for tablespoons, TSP for teaspoons, cup for, well, cup, piece, OZ for ounce, pint, gallon, G for gram, so it's very important not to confuse that with gallon. G for gram, kg for kilogram, and then liter obviously is there. So then for this one, let's check. So the turkey is 12 pounds of turkey. So in pounds, and we're going to put in 12 pounds of turkey. Let's see the next ingredient. Fresh cranberries. We're going to need 1 cup of fresh cranberries. Fresh cranberries. We're going to need 1 cup of fresh cranberries. Then we need another cup of orange juice, so we need 1 cup of orange juice, and so forth and so on. Following that, we'll have directions. So the directions, for instance, now of course this is what you have to do in order to prepare the meal, right? So we're going to say preheat oven. I'm just going to put in your preheat oven for the sake of time. So we're going to say preheat oven. Then we're going to say rinse and pat dry turkey. Rinse and pat dry turkey, and so on. And then all the directions are coming under here. And you do the exact same thing for recipe 2. So recipe 2, let's see, chestnut stuffing. So over here, backspace that, say chestnut stuffing is the second recipe. And now let's get the first ingredient, chestnuts, 1 pound of chestnuts, so 1 pound of, made a mistake. If you make a mistake like this, for instance, I just made a weird mistake where I just weirdly dragged the cell up top. If you make a mistake like this, what you can do is simply say Command Z if you're on Mac to undo. If you're on Windows, you can say Control Z. But if you're not comfortable with the keys, you can come back to Edit, and then you can just click Undo over there, and that'll undo. Right, going back to what I was saying, would need chestnuts, wasn't it? So 1 pound of chestnuts. Correct. And then we need 8 cups of cubed bread. So 8 cups of cubed bread. And then we can put in the directions as well. Salute chestnuts. Salute chestnuts down there. Sorry, I'm just not filling them all in just because, I mean, just so that you can get the idea. Put in a large bowl, I guess. I don't know. Put in a large bowl. And then following that, we're going to say season with salt and pepper. Season with salt and pepper. And then we can do it again over here. Recipe 3, recipe 4, and then we can do it one final time for recipe 5, recipe 6. So, I'm going to move on to the grocery sheet right now because I want to show you something. On the grocery list over here, would you take a look at that? We already have items filled in. But notice these items are the exact same items that we put over here. So what happens is that on the grocery list, there are 2 pieces of, well, there are 2 tables, sorry. Recipe items and other items. Recipe items are the ingredients that you stipulated over here. So for instance, we put turkey, fresh cranberries, orange juice, but for the other recipe, we put chestnuts and cubed bread. They show up here automatically filled. You also should notice that the quantity though and the unit are not filled in, even though we have it filled in over here. And the reason for that is because if there are 2, let's say salt and pepper, right? Salt and pepper over here. Salt and pepper over here. When there are 2 ingredients that are on the same place as well, I'm going to say 1 pound of salt and pepper. When there are 2 ingredients, when there is an ingredient that is within both or more than one recipe, then essentially that is when the quantity and the units become an issue. Because I mean, in this one, we might even represent it as grams, right? So that's why, so then when it comes over here, we cannot just simply take these and then put them in. So then it becomes up to you to put in the quantity of how much you would like to buy. I want to buy salt and peppers over here. I want to buy 2 pounds of salt and pepper. 1 pound for each recipe, for instance. That is something that you can do. So then you input the quantity. So I want to put in, and then we can, for these, I mean, they're individuals, right? Turkey is only found there, so we can even use that same one. So I want 12 pounds of turkey. Fresh cranberries, we want 1 cup of this. Orange juice, 1 cup as well. Salt and pepper, we said 2 pounds. Chestnuts in the cube bread. So 1 pound of chestnuts, well, 8 cups of cube bread. So 1 pound of chestnuts, 8 cups of cubed bread. And then the store, this is the store that we want to buy it from. So we can just say Whole Foods as an example. Whole Foods over here, Whole Foods over here. Maybe let me just make up a store this time. Maybe let me say Druthers Supermarket. And then we can say AlphaGo Foods, The Eatery, just random names over here. Of course, Whole Foods is not random, but The Eatery and Bake the Bread. just random names. And then other items, so this can be something like toilet paper. This is what we used in the example. These are just separate items. Toilet paper that we might need, I'm just going to need 1 roll. And then maybe we're going to need, what's another item we might need from the store? Maybe I can buy cards, I don't know, to write on. I'm going to need about 3 of these, right? So another thing also is these check marks here. So these check marks just indicate that you bought the item. I bought the turkey already, strikes through. I bought the fresh cranberries as well. I bought the salt and pepper as well. And then toilet paper and the cards as well has already been bought. That is something that also indicates over here. There is a small discrepancy over here with the pounds, but don't worry about this. We'll rectify this by the time that you're able to use the spreadsheet. And then here's the cards tracker. So over here on the cards tracker, this is essentially where we put in all the people that we'd like to send cards to. You do not have to fill in any information over here. Don't worry about that. That is all automatic. Even if you try, it will tell you no. So let's start off. So these are all the pieces of information that you can adjust, and let's start off. So I want to send a card to Jenny. The address, 123 Main Street. The city where that is in, okay, let's say Miami, state, Florida. And then the zip code, let me just get, I think I use this as an example on one of these. So the zip code would be 33101. 33101. Email address, jenny@gmail.com. You'll even find here that there is actually a possibility of even accessing that email through Google Sheets, which is quite nice. Mailed or emailed, this just indicates whether you mailed it physically or whether you emailed it digitally. Of course, I mailed it. I already did mail it. And then, for instance, if I did not do that, then I would have said cards to send. And then once I do that, it indicates that I sent the card already. This checkbox are meant to indicate that you sent it already via either mail or email. And then notes, you can say, for my lovely wife, right there. And then as well for Jeremy, 456 Main Street. Let's say this one's California this time. Sorry, city, Los Angeles, California. Use a zip code example over here as well. 94102. 94102. And then it's going to be a Jeremy@gmail. Jeremy@gmail.com. That's the email address. This time I actually sent it to the email. Notice here I said mailed even though I still put it in email address, but I was primarily looking at the address for this one. Emailed even though I still put in the address, I primarily use the email address for this one. So these ones are kind of like either or, you know? You can either put in an email address or you can put in the actual address details. And then mailed, emailed, and then you can say, for my amazing, charismatic uncle. And that's the cards tracker for you. Tells you how many cards you sent, tell me how many cards you need to send, and the total cards over there. Right, so the Christmas itinerary. This one's quite cool. So essentially the Christmas itinerary is essentially the plan that you want to follow out throughout the day. This one's quite nice. So yeah, there are a few days before the Christmas. Christmas Eve is included, Christmas Day is included, and a few days after Christmas just for some cleanup. So the first thing that we do on this spreadsheet is over here, the day start. So this one here, you want to select the time that the day actually starts for you, basically. So maybe you can say 4 a.m. and all of it here changes to 4. Then you want to say maybe 05, maybe that's what the day start is for you. But the day start for us is 7. And the reason why it is so important that you get started with that is because if you input information over here, let's say, I'm just going to say wake up, something random, but then you change this over here, it doesn't automatically change. It doesn't change. This does not go with it, right? So, therefore, it is very important that you first say the day start 7. Otherwise, you risk getting a lot of work under yourself, which will diminish the point of a spreadsheet, right? So we can even say here, wake up on this day, wake up, and then what we want to do is we want to start finding decor, and then we want to buy ingredients on this day, maybe buy ingredients starting from 10 o'clock on this day. 24th of December, I'm gonna wake up at 7 again, like always, this time at 1 o'clock random time. Make sure Xmas things are ready, just like that. 6 o'clock, call everyone to dinner. Maybe made that other mistake again where I accidentally dragged the cell upwards like that. I'm gonna hit, no, let me not use the keys. I'm gonna go to edit and click undo. Right, so 7 o'clock over here. Maybe we're gonna watch a football game over there. Right over there, we have Christmas. So this Christmas, we're gonna wake up. Everybody gonna come together, say grace, maybe eat breakfast. You know, all that. That is an example of how to use a spreadsheet. So essentially, we just put the individual things for the different times over here, just so that you can have a plan for how you'd like to conduct the day forward. After Christmas, I'm gonna wake up at 7 again. Actually, you know what? No, Christmas would have been fun. I'm gonna wake up at 8, nice and late. Starting from 9 o'clock, I'm gonna start cleaning up the house, just like that. And then that's how you use the itinerary. Right, so last but not least of all the sheets is the Christmas menu. So this allows you to curate ideas and essentially populate them underneath over here under the confirmed Christmas meals. So for instance, if you try to put French toast over here, it will not allow you to, because this is because the items over here come from over here previously. So if you want to have French toast, you must say French toast over here, and then you must tick it off, and then it will populate under here under the corresponding part. I also want to have French toast for breakfast on the Christmas day. I'm going to tick it off over there, and it's going to populate there too. So let me think more. What are other ideas? Maybe cranberry, orange muffins. What else did I say here on the Christmas plan? Let me see. Gingerbread waffles. Gingerbread waffles. Fruit parfait with granola. Fruit parfait with granola. And that can fall under there. But all of these three, I'm gonna take the gingerbread waffles, and only the gingerbread waffles come. So only the ones that are ticked come, and these two, unfortunately, not, because I don't want them anymore. Right, so let's try the same thing with dinner. So you can already see I already filled in prime rib roast over here for dinner, and then I deselected it now, but now I'm gonna select it and I'm gonna say prime rib roast over there. Now let me try something for lunch on the Christmas day. So for lunch, peanut butter sandwiches. And then I'm not really feeling that though, right? Okay, is there something else? Maybe chicken and wild rice soup. Whoa, okay, sounds exotic. Chicken, oop, not in capitals, I'm not shouting at anybody. Chicken and wild rice soup. Yeah, that I'll want. And then I'll put it there. And you can put as many as you like to fill in these rows, and then you can get as many as you need in order to fill in those corresponding rows. And then that's how the Christmas meals page works. So just as our final goodbyes, I want to thank every single one of you that actually purchased the product. It means, again, just as I said in the beginning, a great deal to us that you thought about us and that you thought that we're the best option in terms of providing you with the spreadsheet. And on top of that, I hope that you have an absolutely wonderful Christmas. And we really hope to see you at the shop again. It's been an absolutely wonderful effort over here, and we thank you for watching. Bye bye.